Greetings and welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host, David Danto, and we are count them, 2 weeks away from Enterprise Connect. And I wanted to bring on a couple of my colleagues to kind of represent what Poly's going to be doing. Poly HP team is going to be doing at Enterprise Connect, and I'll let them introduce themselves to you. Clint, why don't you start and tell everybody who you are and what you do?
You bet. Thanks, David. It's good to be with you today. We got Clint Edwards, and I lead our solution architect team for our service provider and voice group. And we're excited to meet everyone at the show.
Clint, tell us your journey to Poly or in HP. How many years have you been doing this? Where'd you come from?
Man, you're gonna make me feel old.
I'm the oldest one on the call, so don't worry about it.
I've been with HP Poly for almost 18 years.
Wow.
You can believe it. So I've done everything, pretty much everything, service provider, voice, video, headset, been through it all.
Terrific. And Stephen, your turn. Why don't you give everybody an introduction, who you are, what you do, and what your journey's been.
Certainly, and thanks for having me, David. My name is Stephen Fair. I work alongside of Clint. I more focus on the sales side of things, but have a global focus for our voice customers and our voice products. Making sure everyone understands that Poly is really back in the voice business in a big way, right across the globe. It's an exciting time to be here with all the new products we've got. So delighted to be at Poly. I've been here for about almost 16 months now. So I'm a newbie compared to Clint. He's been well more served here than I have, but delighted to be first a Poly person. Now I'm an HP Poly person. So yeah. Fabulous to be here. Thank you, David.
Two logos for the price of one. That's awesome, Stephen. Thanks very much. So I've been attending this conference now for longer than I can remember. For those of you who are not familiar with Enterprise Connect, it started out as VoiceCon. I used to make jokes in blogs about, the old joke about how you went to a fight and a hockey game broke out, that, you went to VoiceCon and video broke out in a big way. So that's when it became Enterprise Connect. But it's an interesting. So first topic I kind of want to get both of you guys' opinion on is that, we have been talking about the death of the telephone in the enterprise for at least a decade, if not longer than that. Nobody's going to want to have a phone. If you're not going to have phones on the desk, we're all switching to headsets. It's all going to be virtual phones. And you know what? That thing is not dying. From the conversations I'm having with end users, people are still putting them in and they're still using them. And what's your perspective on that? I just think they're exploding.
Yeah, we haven't. I'll go in. No, we haven't. We really haven't seen that the demand is still out there for sure. Sometimes we look at the phone business as something that just, we're all, kind of in our knowledge worker sort of lifestyles where we have PCs and laptops and we're on soft clients and video calls all day. We're sort of tempted to say, I don't use a phone that much because I'm always on video calls. But what we always often forget is that we're the minority of the workforce. We're the, that 20% or 10%, depending on the country, but the rest of the workforce still shows up to work and they put in their hours and they go home, and the technology, the communication they use exists at work and sort of stays at work. And those users are still not going anywhere for phones. They're still, 80-90% attach rate in that part of the market.
Yeah, and so I think if I just add one thing here, Clint's exactly right. We all think that because we've been talking to our laptops since the COVID period that's we're the only way that people communicate with it. Reality is 4 out of 5 workers today don't communicate that way. Don't have a laptop in front of them, as Clint mentioned. And we look at the overall marketplace itself. And in fact, from a Poly perspective, our addressable market that we serve has gotten bigger during the recent times because that proprietary PBX world is really going away and everybody is moving to the cloud. So those people who can use devices like we make, it's getting larger. So we're excited about the growth in the marketplace. And you're right, the death of the phone has been over exaggerated for decades now, and it's still as strong as ever.
Okay, so I have to give you a little bit of Dave Danto history here without using up too much of our webcast. My first internship in 1978 was at AT&T corporate headquarters at 195 Broadway. And at 195 Broadway, I learned how to use the phone. I became a 4-wire guy. I still have my butt set somewhere down here in my lab. And, I've been working from home for at least almost 2 decades now. And I still have an instance of my home line, although it's served by fiber now and not copper, sitting on my desk. And I still have one of the Poly Nextiva phones sitting next to me as well, because when I need to make a phone call, I'm on Teams all day, I'm on Zoom all day, I'm on all my computer all day. I still want to pick up a handset and make a call and use a voice call. And I'm not the only one. And again, I have a dozen headsets around me here and I use them all the time and I love them. But the form factor for a phone call is just very pleasing to me. And it is to a lot of people as well, whether they're in an office or working from home, where the home setups have been, exploding lately and people are making them more comfortable and functional.
Yeah, if you want to call a hospital, right? People aren't walking around with headsets connected to laptops, right? It's at a desk or a garage or a restaurant, or pick another kind of location like that. There's plenty of opportunities for phones to be utilized. It's just that our habits have been kind of ground into us over the last 2 or 3 years to get on a headset or talk to a video bar like I'm talking to you here on my P15. So.
I'm talking to you on my P15, but I swear I think I have an obligation to wear the headset, being the Poly HP employee. So I put it on anyway.
I have mine right here.
Yes. Much thanks to my colleagues. Much thanks to my colleagues in Canada who upgraded me from the Focus 1 to the Focus 2, which I've been using for the last 2 weeks.
Very nice.
So let's talk a little bit about the phones that we're going to be showing at Enterprise Connect. We have, so first of all, no one has a suite of options like we do across natively compatible, natively certified across platforms like Zoom and Teams and Ring Central and 8x8 and Nextiva, like I mentioned. And you're not going to find that kind of compatibility amongst any of our competitors. Stephen, what can we expect to see at the show when it comes to the voice piece?
Yeah, absolutely, David. You're right on the mark. Our breadth of customers is tremendous. And when we look at the platforms of which we can operate on and have certification with all of those platforms, it's a really impressive list of clients. Whether it's, like you said, Microsoft, Zoom, Ring Central, 8x8, blah 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 blah. There's a tremendous amount of them. So I think that kind of depth of product interoperability and partnerships really represents who we are as an organization, right? We are trying to address the needs of the entire market. We're not going after one particular partner or focusing just one little space. We're trying to be ubiquitous to the marketplace, saying regardless of what platform you choose, because what you choose today, you may change in a year or two. And wouldn't it be great to have a device that worked across all those platforms from one vendor? And that's really what we're trying to deliver to the market.
And we're going to come back to talking about that when we get into some of the video pieces as well. But that is definitely the key. The idea is there's no more golden handcuffs, no more forklift changes. If you find a provider that's going to give you a better service tomorrow than the one you're using with today, you don't have to change the equipment, which is
I think really one of the things just to add to you, David, is that not only will we be in our booth representing all of our unique partnerships and the way we can interoperate with other vendors, our vendors will be having our technology in their booths as well. So we're really proud to say it's not just our own booth that will be displaying our technology. It'll be our partners and and their customers who will be able to see our technology in other booths as well.
Now, we do have a spectacular set of brand new phones, well, relatively new. When Osman, my colleague, showed them to our audience a couple of months ago, the new Edge E series, which are they're just beautiful phones. They're really awesome, modern. You want to describe them just a little bit?
Hey, there you go. Clint's got a great picture of them there for you to see. They really are. I think other than we do great technical elements to our phones, our design team here, they've got a real knack of making a phone a beautiful thing. It's kind of an odd thing to say, but a phone can be a beautiful thing. It really is well done. It's very clean. The lines are clean on it. The way that they are displayed across the different size screens that we've got. We've got multiple screens on phones as well, so you can get like an operator kind of view as the multiple lines on the bottom is Clint showing there. But the phones, they really do shine on their own. And we quite often want to say to people, you don't just got to hear them, you got to see them, because they really are like desk art, if you will. They're quite impressive.
Yeah, they are beautiful. And Clint, tell us what you were showing when you were pushing the button so that we can see it full screen while you do it.
Oh, yeah. So I'll switch back over to that view. Yeah. But what I was just showing is, as Stephen was talking about, not just the look and aesthetics of these phones, but we're going to be able to show you some of the awesome features. One of the ones that you see here is, something that we get asked for in the headset world all the time are things like, are you free? Are you busy? Are you on the phone call? Well, we now have these cool halo lights, which lets me come up here and I can put a call on hold, and it changes colors, and you kind of know what everyone's status is, which is really quite awesome. The other thing that these phones have that hope you'll be able to see a little bit, maybe even experience, are things like what we've had in our video for a while, like noise block AI. So it can drown out that the fan noise, the chaos that always exists behind us in either the home office, the work office, or open office, whichever it is, because there seems to be noise everywhere. But how do you not let that bleed through to the other end of the conversation? So we'll show off some of those things, and for those that are kind of interested in, like, our service provider partners and others, on what's the status of the phones and getting help and accessibility features. Boy, we have some great things to show off.
So I'm not going to nitpick, but I will change, just call you out on drown out the idea with noise block AI. It's actually tremendously powerful artificial intelligence that literally filters it out, but lets the other piece through. So it's amazing, and it's in our audio devices and in a lot of our video devices as well. So that's really cool. So Clint, let's talk a little bit about some of the video pieces as well that are going to be at the show. And now again, I don't want to leave this subject. I know we're previewing Enterprise Connect, but I'm not going to really preview any of the breaking news. You'll have to come to the show or tune in after the show to find out about that. But I don't want to leave the topic and go to video until we are at least saying that the Edge E phones are natively compatible, are natively interoperable with multiple service providers in a list that's growing. Let's just leave it at that. Not everyone's on that list just yet, but that's today. Let's keep looking, and we're going. And for those that aren't on that list, that we have some of our slightly older phones that are compatible with them as well. Correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that list really has grown quite a bit. So we have dozens and dozens now of service providers across the world that have Edge on their line card, and it's starting to really make a dent in the industry, because they have just so many amazing features above and beyond what we've had on our existing phones.
And that's our segue to video, because we are natively certified on our video devices across the widest swath of service providers in the industry. We've got a couple of our I don't want to call them competitors. They're not really competitors, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But they may have one or they may have two providers that they've certified their platform on and made a very big deal that they grow from one to two. We are certified. We've shown our products on Microsoft Teams. We've shown our products on Zoom. We've demonstrated our products on Google. That's going to be coming out shortly. We've shown that at a couple of shows. Same thing. 8x8 rings. We've got the largest selection of service provider capability and interoperability on our video devices than anybody else out there in the market.
Yeah, that's definitely right, and I think you're going to see a couple announcements. I've been sworn to secrecy, so we won't get into names, but we'll be able to demo some of the announcements that we're making, and you'll be able to show some of that off. Really, both with our phones and our video, it's really about a marriage of device and our partner and the alliance, because they bring the best. They bring their uniqueness, and from their cloud, their UC services. We bring the value add, like the noise block AI, and on the video side, we've pioneered a lot of the cool framing of rooms and people, and we look forward to hopefully showing off some new tricks as we get closer to in the next couple of weeks.
It was nice to go to some of the trade shows I've already been to earlier this year and see some of our competitors jumping in feet first with video bars with the products and technologies that we had out on the market 2 years ago. So you can just imagine how far advanced we are and will stay as we continue to move this. But one of the most important phrases that I'd like you guys to address, and I think it's very important across both the video and the voice and the headsets and everything else, is we are an organization that represents and not or. You don't have to have an Android-based video bar if you'd like to be, Windows PC-based. We have solutions for both. And by the way, an awesome new HP PC that runs our Microsoft Teams rooms in those bundles. You don't have to have phones or headsets. You can have phones and headsets. We are offering the widest breadth of solutions in our suite than any other manufacturer out there, certainly that are comfortable and that are natively certified for all these platforms. And it gives organizations the choice to not have to pick one or the other, but to combine the best platform and not be locked in. So I assume that's some of the biggest messaging that we're going to have at our booth. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the, I was going to say, Clint, just one of the things that I think is really kind of cool is that what we've done with our headset portfolio in conjunction with our desktop phones is we put a lot of time and effort into the functionality being built right into the phones with our headsets. So you can just, NFC, so you come near the phone with your headset and all of a sudden it pairs with that headset simply and easily. Clint's going to show you here. So being able to add extra value between our headsets and our phones to give that customer experience even more depth and more value is really cool. You can see there how quickly and easily it pairs.
That's great.
Because you're right. Sometimes we want to utilize the functionality of the desk phone because it has a lot of power in it, but want to utilize some of our freedom of a headset. The other side of it is also with your mobile device. We can pair just as easily on that phone as we did with our headset with our mobile device, and then have access to our complete library or directory that our mobile device has, now being able to use our desk phone as the dialer, and the ability to use the acoustic fence technology or AI that you talked about. So I get all the best things of my headset, of my mobile device, all built into a desktop phone, which is really cool.
And you mentioned the term freedom. We had an announcement at CES in January that I was privileged to be at about a new product, the Voyager 360. Really takes a different attack at the personal earbud space. It's the technical term that we use in the industry is true wireless, but it's a true wireless built for business that can also be used for personal, as opposed to ones for personal that are going to be jammed into the square peg round hole for business. I'm hoping. We got 2 weeks to go. I'm hoping we're going to talk about some general availability, but I don't know yet. We'll see what the announcements are at the show, but we're real close to the Voyager 360 being a product that people will really start to be able to get their hands on. I hope to get my hands on it, at least at Enterprise Connect. Clint, I'm assuming you've got yours, and you're reaching over to pick it up.
I'm reaching over to get it. I've been on the testing team for this for some time, but it's. I tell you, it's going to be. I think this is going to be a real winner in the marketplace. We have cool new headset, cool new smart case. Come check it out, and you need to come handle it when you get to the booth and see what it feels like. And I can tell you from using it, really makes a difference when you're on your video calls connected to your PC, or you just moving off with your mobile and listening to music right up until your next conference call, and all the while you got your, got some of the nice technology that Plantronics Poly has pioneered in terms of, making my voice be the main thing coming through and not, try to reduce the chaos around me. So, which it's, it does a great job at.
So as I put this webcast together, I'm going to hopefully be smart enough to come back to this point and point down here. I'm going to give everybody 2 links to archived webcasts that we did. One is Osman, who's showing, I don't even want to try and pronounce his last name. I never get it right. Showing off the entire Edge E series phones. And the other one is Andre Reed, who was just recently on, giving everybody the show and tell for the Voyager 360. And definitely, if you're going to be down at Enterprise Connect, it's the last week of March. If you need information on the show, drop any one of the 3 of us an email and information. We have open links for getting a booth tours. And learning about our products down there, and as Stephen pointed out, it's not just in our booth; it's in a lot of the service providers' booths as well. Drop us a note; we'll make sure that we can get you registered if we need it. And you can visit down at the show, and you get a chance. There's nothing like seeing and hearing and holding these products to help you make a decision as to what you need to do. That loosely termed competitor. A lot of people announce things, but you can't hear it, you can't see it, you can't touch it. It's not available. by all means, try this stuff out. Go to one of our PECs, our Poly Experience Centers, or talk to your Poly representative and get a sense of what the HP and Poly technology can do in these bundles before you make any kind of buying decisions. So gentlemen, have I left anything out prior to
Well,
Enterprise Connect?
I didn't want to leave without also, when you book that tour, absolutely come and see us. We will be raffling some HP gift cards. So the larger HP Poly family, we have a lot more cool stuff that you can get across the large company. So again, we'll be raffling those out. And then there's and I think there's a special Alliances booth crawl. And so just connect with our Alliances team on that Tuesday from 6 to 8. And we'll be loving to show off again some of the great things we're doing with our Alliance partners. And then we also have multiple speaking sessions that will happen. And so they encouraging us to join our LinkedIn channel that we are part of, and come hear some of our great speakers talk about hybrid work and some of the cool stuff that we're doing.
Mm-hmm. And as I always point out at these conferences, I will be there. I will be at various events during the course of the day. I'm not going to necessarily be at the Poly booth all the time. I'll be going in and out. But you never know, if you run into me, what kind of samples I might have in my bag, and might be able to give away in exchange for a selfie to talk about how people enjoy using our product. So that's always something to keep in mind. We will, in fact, during the week of Enterprise Connect, 2 weeks from now, Poly Weekly News will be shot from the atrium at the Gaylord Palms, which is where the event takes place. I know one of my guests will be Kevin Keeler, a noted Microsoft Teams expert and a good friend of mine who's an industry analyst. I don't know who else is going to drop by. We'll find out, but that'll be on in 2 weeks. So anyway, as we wrap this thing up, Stephen, if somebody wants to find out more about what you talked about or reach out to you personally, how can they do that?
Yeah, certainly my email is in the bottom of my video of the square here, stephen.fair@hp.com. Please reach out to me. Probably the most effective way to get me is by email. I'd love the opportunity to engage with you, whether you want to learn more about our company, our products, or just what's coming down the track in the future from HP Poly. I'd be delighted to talk to you.
Terrific, Stephen. Clint, what about you? How does somebody reach out to you?
Same way. Clint.edwards@hp.com. Come find us, and we'll get you pointed the right direction or get you the info you need. Because again, we think there's a lot of value and a lot of cool things we'd like you to experience.
And as always, I'm david.danto@hp.com, and we're all available on LinkedIn and all the various other social media platforms. Reach out to us. We love engaging with customers. We love having conversations, whether it's online or social media or by email or in line waiting at Records for somebody to get in for a lunch that we only got 15 minutes to do when we're not on booth duty. So in any case, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. That's it for Poly Weekly News for this week. For all of my colleagues at Poly and HP, we're so glad you take the time every week to find out what it is that we're doing and learn a little bit more about us. We do appreciate it, and we will see you next week.